All right, so our next example, it's already set up for us, so I don't need to worry about moving anything across the equal sign. So we can go right into the quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b. So again, 2 is a, 6 is b, 7 is c. So we have negative 6 plus minus the square root of 6 squared, so that's 36, minus 4 times a, so that's 2, times 7, all divided by 2 times a, so 2 times 2. So again, we are just working on simplifying. So if I take 7 times 2, that's going to be 14, and then times 4 is 56. So for this problem, we are doing 36 minus 56 over 4. So again, if we combine inside our radical still, 36 minus 56 is going to be a negative 20 over 4 still. So now we are simplifying the radical. So looking at negative 20, we can think of it as negative 1 times 4 times 5. Okay, so still in the radical. So now when I simplify, I'll have x equals negative 6 plus minus. 4 comes out as 2. The negative comes out as I. 5 will stay inside the radical. Still over 4. Okay. Now we can't combine in the top this time because we still have a radical remaining. But we do need to look at our 3 numbers outside of the radical to see if we can simplify. So we have to decide if 6, 2, and 4 are all divisible by the same number, other than 1. And they are, that we can divide each by 2. So that's going to be our last simplification step. So if I divide the negative 6, the 2, and the 4 by 2, our final answer will be negative 3 plus or minus I square root of 5 divided by 2. And that would be our final simplified answer. All right, looking at problem 4, we can either subtract the 4x and the 3, or we can add the 2x squared over. So I usually like my square term to be positive, so I'm going to add that. So if we do that, this will become positive 2x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So again, this is the a, the b, and the c term. So x equals opposite of b, so negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared, so that will be 16, minus 4 times 2 times 3, all divided by 2 times 2. So again, we are simplifying inside of the radical first. Okay. So x equals negative 4 plus and minus the square root of 16 minus. So 4 times 2 is 8, and then 8 times 3 is 24, all over 4. So again, continuing to simplify, x equals negative 4 plus minus the square root, and then 16 minus 24 will be a negative 8 divided by 4 still. So now we want to see if we can reduce the radical. So we can think of this as negative 1 times 4 times 2. So when we simplify, we will have x equals negative 4 plus and minus. Square root of 4 is 2, so that comes out of the radical. Square root of negative 1 is I. And then we can't take the square root of 2, so that will stay in the radical. Still divided by 4. And then again, our last step is to decide if the numbers outside of the radical are all divisible by the same thing. So negative 4, 2, and 4 can all be divided by 2. So my final simplified answer will be x equals negative 2 plus or minus I square root of 2 divided by 2. Right. And we have one more example problem. So again, I'm going to start by moving everything to the same side. So I'm going to add my 289 over. So x squared plus 34x plus 289 equals 0. Okay. So we're going to have the opposite of 34, so negative 34, plus and minus the square root of 34 squared. So as I'm working through this problem, I'm going to use my calculator to help me. So 34 squared is going to be 1,156 minus 4 times A, so my A is 1, times C, so 289, and then divided by 2 times A, so 2 times 1. So again, we're just going to keep simplifying. So x equals negative 34 plus minus, and I'm just going to type everything underneath the radical into my calculator to simplify. So it's going to be 1,156 minus 4 times 1 times 289, which is going to end up simplifying to be 0. So the square root of 0 is just 0. So that means I have x equals negative 34 divided by 2. So negative 34 divided by 2 will give us negative 17. So for this one, we end up with negative 17 as our final answer.